Today we are back with our first video in nearly a month with a review of the 76316 Fantastic Four vs Galactus construction figure Fantastic Four Marvel set. So sorry it's been so long, guys. I've just had no motivation to make YouTube videos as of late. I have still been uploading daily over on TikTok, though I actually went viral last week. That was fun. It's the exact same name as this YouTube, Ginger_Biscuit65, and any support from YouTube would be very helpful. This set is the only Fantastic Four first steps from July that we are getting. I do wish that we would be getting more Fantastic Four sets. It's one of my favourite superhero teams. I absolutely loved the film when I went to go see it on the day of its release. And just by looking at the box, the only thing that this set seems like it's missing is a Silver Surfer. I would have also liked a Franklin Richards. And then also that little robot that you see, I forgot his name. But yeah, I feel like those are some must-have minifigures. I mean, it's the Fantastic Four. The entire plot is around the Silver Surfer and, you know, that little kid. So I feel like they are some characters that we need to see in the future. And if we don't get any more sets from Fantastic Four first steps, I think it'll be a very big missed opportunity for LEGO. Taking a look at the back of my damaged box, we can see the minifigures in action. We also get a look at some of the play features in the set. We also see that there are some studs throughout for the minifigures to stand on if you need to. And just by looking at the box, it does look like a very cool set. These are the 4 minifigures that we do get in the set, and it is kind of disappointing looking at them and then seeing that we didn't get the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer had one of the most prominent roles in the film, and honestly such a cool character, and I would have loved to see them in LEGO form. All of these minifigures are very, very similar. The only difference on the torso print is with Reed Richards, where he has a little bit less white than all the others. All of these minifigures need dual-molded legs, except for Reed Richards, in my opinion. As obviously with Reed Richards, he has like these stretchy legs that's supposed to be simulated with these bricks. And then he has his boots down there, so he doesn't actually need the dual-molded leg, as it would kind of take away from the look of these stretchy legs. But there is no excuses for the rest of these minifigures other than LEGO cheaping out in what is a £55 overpriced LEGO set. I do really like the Thing. I think he's a very good minifigure, although Johnny Storm and Sue Storm are a bit wasteful, being reuses of faces. We saw the Sue Storm face on many figures in the past, such as Leia. Sorry, not Leia, Padme, and the Johnny Storm face we saw in Ant-Man back in 2021. So that is very cheap from LEGO. Some new face prints would have been very nice and much appreciated. But I do like that we are getting the Fantastic Four for the first time in LEGO, although I don't think they are perfect minifigures. But with the Fantastic Four finally getting their first ever LEGO set in 2025, do you think there is a chance that they'll revisit the 2005 and 2007 Fantastic Four movies and give us a set from those films, as I much preferred those ones to the new one, but not to say that the new one isn't better, I just have a preference for the 2005 and 2007 movies. A decent minifig lineup for a £55 set, but again, it's just a load of wasted opportunities. One thing I will say is that I really like their accessories. I love that the Human Torch is becoming with all these flaming accessories. I really like that, and then I like that this thing has the big hands and the really rocky headpiece. I love Mr. Fantastic's stretchy legs, although I do think it would have been a good use of the Miss Marvel really long arms that we saw back like 5 years ago. And then here, the Invisible Woman is like simulating her force field power, which I also think is really cool. And this is the Fantastic Four vs Galactus construction figure set fully built. And I do think it looks really cool, but I will get into a few small complaints in a moment. This thing is packed with loads of articulation. You can move the feet, you can move the knees, you can move the legs, etc, etc. I like the use of the X-Wing cockpit piece to create kind of like a camera. And also the sticker detailing is really nice, as the dark blue of the sticker actually does match with the dark blue of the brick, something that we don't see in LEGO Star Wars. The only printed element in this set is the face print, and I do think it looks very, very good. I would have liked a couple extra expressions, but the one that we did get is absolutely fine. The overall leg design I really like. I've actually got no complaints for the legs, other than the fact that they didn't make the brick here in grey. It just should have been in pink, so that it just flowed better with the rest of the model. And I also don't like the splashes of this little dark red colour that we see. We see some examples of this dark red colour being used here, and I just really don't like it. I don't think it looks good with the overall build. It's a little bit nitpicky, as you don't really see it when you're just looking at it from a distance. If you are just looking at the entire model, you'd barely even notice it, but I just don't like it when you're looking up close at like the head, for example. The dark red bricks just kind of take away from it, in my opinion. But overall, the feet and the legs are done really well. I also think the general body is near perfect. The only complaint with the body here is actually the neck. This piece is once again grey, which would be pink or blue, and it would make it look a hell of a lot better. Or we could have just gotten a couple extra pieces and it would have slotted in there perfectly. Simply by taking another one of these 2x1 cheese slopes, it can slot into there and it won't fall out. Look at how much better that looks. The difference is absolutely insane. And that would have all been fixed if one, the piece was printed in pink instead of grey, or if two, they just included a extra cheese slope piece. I literally just had to take that from the arm of the minifigure. The head design is overall really good. Once again, my only complaint with the head is that dark red piece. I just don't think it matches the rest of the set very well. I do really like the overall structure of the head. My only other complaint with the head is on top there is the dark grey axle showing. I just don't think that that's very necessary. And again, that would have been sold if the piece was just made in pink instead of grey. And I do understand why it's there as well, because it keeps the entire head together. Anyway, I've talked about the legs, I've talked about the hips, and I've talked about the body and the head, which I do think is near perfect. Overall, I would say down the middle, it's a 9 out of 10. My main complaint is with the arms. They're not bulky enough, they're not long enough, and they just kind of look awkward in my opinion. And maybe that's just me, maybe it's a little bit nitpicky, and they have got all the articulation that they're ever going to need. But in my opinion, these shoulder pads need to go a bit further along like that. And then these shoulders here just need to be a bit beefier, these elbows, these arms. And just overall, it just doesn't look good in my opinion. It takes away from the look of the entire set, and although I do really like this entire build, the arms just need to be a lot better. Another problem I have with the arms is that they are just too short. If I were to reach down and put my arms by my side, it would go to about maybe a bit higher than my knees, and as you can see here, it goes nowhere near the knees. The arms are just embarrassingly short for a guy who is supposed to be the biggest creature in the universe. And yeah, obviously he can change his size at will and, you know, he does what he wants. But there's no way he's just disproportionate like that in universe. It just doesn't look right and it does look awkward in my opinion. A lot of this can be fixed with some decent posability, and I will get into the best way to display this set in a moment. And I will get into how I am going to be displaying this set. Taking a look around the back, it does look fine, but the main thing that's going to catch your eye is this play feature right here. It's this little flying transparent thing that the Human Torch is going to be able to attach to. There's a lot of display potential with this thing, and I will get into that in a moment. On the box, it tells you to display the Human Torch just like that. And honestly, I think it's way too basic just by clipping it onto the legs like that. I like to separate these two pieces, and I attach it like that to create the simulation of him actually flying. It looks way more realistic and way better in my opinion. And with a bit of basic posability, I think he looks way better as he does there than he does on the box. As for the other three minifigures, I'm now going to show you where I like to display those on the Galactus construction figure. I like to have Mr. Fantastic on the feet of the construction figure, kind of looking like he's stretching up to reach the rest of the figure. And I like to put Sue Storm in the left hand and the Thing in the right hand. And it's going to look something like this overall. I really like this overall dynamic as it kind of looks like the worried Human Torch is flying from behind Galactus. The Galactus is actually looking at Sue Storm as he's got her held in his hand, kind of like with a grasp. The Thing is kind of lunging at Galactus, and then we've got Mr. Fantastic reaching up to maybe try save Sue Storm. Overall, this is a really cool set and one that I'm very happy that I bought. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The minifigures and the small complaints about the overall build that I have kind of take this set down a little bit. Overall, it is a set that I'm very, very happy with. I love to have it in my collection, and it is the best potential for MOCs. The movie was very good as well. I even got a free poster for it from my cinema, and it's on my wall right behind where I record my videos, so it looks really cool on the wall there. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think of this set, and thanks for watching. Bye.